Welcome to Electude's cloud-based engine management simulator. The Electude Simulator affords users an opportunity to practice their diagnostic skills in a realistic virtual environment before working on vehicles. In other words, they can use a computer screen and practice skills that were required in the shop. Uh, from my years of performing diagnostics on vehicles, I've learned two very, very important lessons. First is patience. Seldom does the fault just stand out and it's easy to find. You may spend 1 or 2 minutes, or you may spend all day long looking for one little broken wire. Second, assuming that I found the fault without verifying the fix, it's a huge mistake. Each of the faulted tasks that you can create in Electude in the simulator, there's hundreds of them that can be created, and they can be created as either very easy with easy guidance, or they can be created very difficult as just you would finding a problem in a shop without any guidance at all. You know, today every modern vehicle, whether it's a truck, a car, a boat, a forklift, a lawnmower, all of those are going to electronics and electronic guided systems, PCMs, ECMs. Uh, in the next few minutes, I'm going to demonstrate using Electude Simulator as a way to find and fix a fault. And in here, what I've done, you open it up, you get the car, and you'll get a work order. My work order, I created one that said a customer complaint. Engine runs cool when you're driving, but gets hot when stopped. Suggest you check the electronic control fan and relay. Well, this is the work order, and when you finish up, I suggest that you fill in and save it. Come here to the side, and now these are the tools. If I go to instrument panel, now I can actually start and run a vehicle just like you would normally in a shop. I can speed the engine RPM up, and I can watch the temperature gauge go up. All right, I'll cut this back off, and I can go back to here. If I click on instrument panel again or work order, they disappear. A multimeter will appear, an oscilloscope will appear, and you can move these items around on the screen any place you wish to use them. I'll go ahead and take the oscilloscope off, put a diagnostic tool on. We have a breakout box, and the breakout box is used. It's hooked to our ECM, and we can back probe here instead of going back probing through wires. Remove this, remove that, and remove this. Now we have a fuel pressure gauge. We have a jump starter that we can use for the battery. A wiring diagram, which is absolutely essential to when we start to do diagnostics, we can perform them on here, and we can look at the wiring diagram that goes with it. So we'll take the wiring diagram away. We'll take the jump starter, the fuel pressure gauge, and the breakout box, and we have an invoice, so at the end we can figure out how much it costs the customer. Great tutorial. I suggest that my video is fine, but when you get in the first time, I would suggest that you go through the tutorial and the help, and you use both of those to improve the knowledge of where the components are at and the responsibilities of the components. Here we go. If we want to make this a little bigger, we can just move it in, or I can move the screen around any way I desire. But for right now, what we did is we decided that we have a problem. Let's crank the engine up and run it and verify that it actually overheats. So I'll run it wide open. You can watch the temperature gauge that goes up. Normally, if everything works like it's supposed to, when it gets up near 200, 210, it's going to cut itself off, which is 100 degrees centigrade is 212 degrees. Up, we've got a problem. The light came on. We verified the complaint temperature gauge is going up. I'm going to move it back, and I'm going to turn this on and leave it on because we're going to run our diagnostic tool in just a moment. I'll take this back off. I'll run the diagnostic tool so we can identify the vehicle. Make this larger, it'll be easier to see. And now we've identified the vehicle. I got a fault code, so let's check. Fan control circuit, just exactly what we expected. The engine's running hot. Go back here. I can go to systems, and if we want to go to engine management, I would like to look at information, and on information I'd like to look at the wiring diagram because I want to see what's going on in the circuit where the fan is at. And what I need to do here is I go down, I find the thermatically controlled fan. It's located in the front part of the engine. It's radiator. It's got 1 ohm of resistance, which is fine. And we find that by looking at it, it's number 46. Number 46 is in this circuit, so Again, we click on the circuit, we go back to the information, and we look at 46, we come up and it goes through K1 relay, and it goes through F15, the fuse. So now I've got a pretty good idea of our circuit, and I see my controllers coming off of my ECM. All right, I'll go back. I'll put my tool up here. What I want to do is I want to come to my fan, and I would like to come here, and I'm going to disconnect the connector. We'll go back and get my multimeter, because we know now that this fan, if it's working properly, should have 1 ohm of resistance. We're checking this circuit to find out what's wrong with the circuit because the fan doesn't come on. Well, I've got 1 ohm of resistance, so I'm pretty happy that the fan appears to be okay. Later on, if I have a problem and I can't find it through the relay or the fuse, I'll come back and do my wires. I'll put that back together. Now I'm going to go to the corner up here, the top right hand corner where it was identified that the relay is at. My fuse is up here and my relay K1. I'm going to take my multimeter and I'm going to check my, you notice that there's a plus, and when I make contact at the right spot, the plus goes away. Oops, look, I don't have any resistance here. I should have 45 ohms resistance across the coil. But now I've got a relay right beside it, so a lot of times when I've got a component of the same nature, I verify that my tool is working and the circuit is good. I'll go here, put that on. Look, I've got 45 ohms of resistance in that relay, so I see that this relay is open. Click on that and put it back up. I need to replace the relay in the circuit, so I drag it down to my bottom line. I click on it, it says replace this part. Now it's got a golden hue around it. I put it back in here. So now I'm going to go back over and I'm going to get my instrument panel and I'm going to verify the temperature to see if the temperature works like it's supposed to. Up, look, perfect. Notice that it gets to about 180, 190, something like that right there. I don't do my conversions very well. But look, at that point right there, the fan is cooling the engine off exactly like it's supposed to. So I fixed my problem by replacing my relay. I could do this on a car, but it's so much easier to learn how to use these components here. Let me put these back up. I'll put up my instrument panel, I'll put up my multimeter, and let's go investigate real quickly the rest of the engine down here. Okay, I'll make it a little bigger. To get in, you'll see colored wires. All of these locations come apart. Very easy. You can use the diagnostic tree to find out what the names are and where they're located at. If we're here and we want to work on something, we could take the wire apart. We could pull this out and pull it down and put it to the bottom. We can pull a spark plug out and disconnect. If we want to, we can pull this down to the bottom, and we could pull another spark plug, but we can change the spark plug from one hole to another. We can go down to the bottom of the screen and we can put our cop coilover plug back in and connect it back up. Or we can replace this spark plug. Let's replace the plug and put it in here, because we're working on and using an invoice to confirm our costs. Once I've done that, I can go back over and look at the invoice, and this gives us an idea of what we would charge the customer. Here we ran a scan. Company charges them $30. Put a relay in, it was $40. A new ignition coil, $146. A spark plug for $18. Troubleshooting time was 16 minutes is how long it took me to do this, and additional labor was $75. Okay. Hey, thank you for watching this, and if there's anything that we can do to help, let us know. Hopefully someone is providing this for you already through school or through the shop that you work for, but if not, you're welcome to go to electude.com, and you can do it as a single purchase your own self, or if you're a teacher and you'd be interested in using this and over 500 different lessons that's related to NATEF, their task in brake, steering, suspension, just go to electude.com and get a telephone number and give us a call. Give you a free trial. Everybody have a great day, and thank you for watching.